Hi guys, I'm Amy Miller. You caught that there. If you caught the first couple seconds, maybe I'll go back in and edit it. I'm trying to get better at smiling at the start of the broadcast because I'm very aware that there is a distinct difference in how I come across when I am smiling or not smiling. One time I caught a glimpse of myself from I had just arrived to Hawaii for a trip, and it was so gorgeous. This I don't even remember the name of the resort, but it was very beautiful. So I got downstairs and I'm just kind of taking in the scenery, and I'm often deep in thought. I promise I'll get to the point of what I'm going to talk about today in a second, but kind of a funny story. So I'll go ahead and share. When I'm deep in thought, my face looks like not super friendly, not super inviting. And anyhow, I was taking in the scene and I was looking around and I caught a glimpse. I saw a woman across the room and I thought, man, she looks not happy. And I was looking at myself in a mirror. I caught a reflection of myself across the room in a mirror. And it wasn't that I wasn't happy. I was just, deep in thought. So anyhow, trying to smile and not like, wait for I don't know. This thing keeps giving me mixed messages here. It'll say I'm going live and then it'll say, wait a minute to continue the broadcast. But I think anyhow, we'll get started. Don't tune in until a minute and a half. Okay. Welcome to Empower Hour Topic Sessions. I'm Amy Miller, and today's topic is you succeed at what you focus on. Now, this can be a good thing and this can be a bad thing. And why not make it a good thing for yourself? So what I'm going to do today is talk about, of course, first how and why this applies to you and how you can use this concept as a tool to help you keep moving forward towards your goals, and how you can help this concept to really empower yourself. When we take responsibility for ourselves, what we do have control over, our mindset and our actions, then we have more control over our lives and what we create for ourselves. So we don't have control over everything. Maybe some of us right now are not in the ideal situation in your career or maybe in another area of your life. But I like to sometimes take a step back and remember to ask myself, okay, what do I have control over? And this is true for all of us. We all have control over our state of mind and our thoughts, what we choose to focus on. I'm sure I'm not alone in this habit that we sometimes do. Likely each and every one of us has done this at one point or another, probably many times, but where, sometimes we might be going about our day perfectly fine, everything's good, happy, and then bam, we get reminded of a past event that happened or of something that's not ideal in our lives right now. And then we start to go down the wrong side of what I like to call the domino effect, because we start thinking more and more, putting more and more of our focus on the negative thing. So I think overcoming challenges and achieving goals is a very balanced practice of focusing on the problem so that we can identify what it is and ultimately work through it, but also to keep our mindset elevated and focused on positive things, keeping ourselves feeling good. I do think it's a balance of both. So what I was talking about is sometimes, we'll think about that negative thing in our head. And then sometimes, maybe we had a bad experience or an uncomfortable conversation or even an argument with someone in the past. It's not happening right now, but we'll think about it more and more. And then we even start to basically rewrite or write a whole other scene in our mind, starting this argument. Well, I would say this, and then they would say this, and it's not even happening. And then suddenly we're not in a very happy state. We've all done that before, but the good news is we have the power to shift that. You have the power to shift that. So what I want to talk about today is the significance of succeeding at what you focus on, good or bad. So maybe you have gone through some interviews recently and they didn't go very well. You want to think about, where was your focus at going into the interview? Maybe you did lots of preparation, all of the research, all of the reaching out, connecting with folks. Maybe you practiced multiple times going through your resume and articulating your story, but you've had a series of interviews leading up to this one that didn't go very well, that you didn't get your desired outcome. And so maybe that's where your focus is. If your focus is on, this is probably not going to work out, you will either put that mindset is going to affect your action output, and then your action output is going to directly correlate to the life and the situation that you create for yourself. Good news, you have the power to shift that. So if you're going into an interview thinking this is probably not going to work out because the last 3 didn't work out, something is going to that attitude is likely to come through, and you won't present yourself as well as you would like, and then that will create the outcome that you don't want. Another example could be dating, super practical, kind of lighter example. Maybe you really like this guy or girl, but relationships haven't worked out for you in the past. So you're going to try a little bit, but not too much, because what's the likelihood of it working out anyway? So your input, your action, well, your input toward your effort or your action output is minimal. So then, of course, what's the result? It's not going to be very good. But if you instead decide, you know what, I'm going into this interview and I'm going to give it my all, or I'm going into this relationship I'm trying to go into, and I'm going to give it my all because I know that it's going to work out. Now, maybe that job or maybe that relationship won't work out, but one will, the right one will. So you want to have not attachment to a specific outcome, which would be a great topic for another time, but the belief in yourself that yes, you can succeed at what you focus on. So you're going to keep your mindset elevated and positive, and you're going to give it your all. And then you are much more likely to get the desired outcome, or at least you get further down your path, you gain some knowledge and experience, and then you are better equipped moving forward on your path for the right opportunity to come in. So I'm going to, in just a moment, share. Well, I'll do it now. So this is a little tool that I like to, or trick that I like to use to help elevate, well, my own mindset, my client's mindset, and yours. If you're listening today or a little bit later, if you watch the replay and you want to give this a try, this is your proof. A lot of us are more comfortable trying something if we have some proof. So this is how you prove to yourself, good or bad, that you succeed at what you focus on. So you can. I want you to think back to an experience where you had a positive outcome, meaning you succeeded in your goal. So I want you to think about what was the experience, and you could write this down and go back and do it later if you don't have time to give it some thought right now. It'll probably take you less than 5 minutes, but think about what was a past experience what was the experience where you had a positive outcome. So number 1, what was the experience? And you want to write that down. And then number 2, what was your emotion around the experience? I talk a lot about emotions because our emotions are guiding us toward our ultimate outcome, but also in the direction that is meant for us. So for this exercise, we're talking about our emotions are guiding us to our outcome, good or bad. So think of what was the experience of something in the past that you achieved? What was the experience or situation? I'm sorry. What was the situation? What was your emotion around the situation? And then what was your action? What action did you put forth after feeling that emotion? And then what was the result? And then how did you feel? So situation, emotion around it. What action did you take? And what was the result? And then what was the emotion that you felt as a result? Likely it was all mostly positive. You chose to keep your focus on the positive. So an example from my past would be when I decided that I wanted to move to New York. I started interviewing or applying and trying to get interviews only for jobs in New York. And when I got my first opportunity to come out here for an interview, I was very excited. So the situation was, I'm going to New York for an interview, for a job interview. The emotion was excitement. But then I got scared. Okay. But then this was a pivotal moment, and you likely have had this pivotal moment many times in your past too. And maybe this exercise will remind you of it, and awareness creates change. So just by becoming aware, if you haven't done a great job with this in the past, you can improve. So my emotion was excitement to come to New York for the interview, but then I got scared. But then I recognized that pivotal moment, and I chose to focus on the excitement, to put the fear aside, and I'm going to actively choose to focus on, I am excited. And so then my action was to really prepare for the interview, to give it my all, and to bring that excitement, my excitement for that job opportunity, into the interview. Now, had I been focused on the fear and choosing to focus on the fear, then that could have dictated my outcomes, or my action rather. I could have decided I'm not even going to go, because why would I get this job? Why would they give me an opportunity? There are plenty, I'm sure, viable candidates in New York who already know the geography, who already have contacts and relationships and experience working there. I don't have any of these. Why would they choose me? So you can see how our mind can go down in the wrong direction, in a rabbit hole, spiraling down the wrong side of the domino effect. But you have the power to choose your focus, which is a superpower. It can change your state of mind in an instant. So I chose to focus on the excitement. I did a great job in the interview, and I ended up getting the job. So that was the result. And then how did I feel? Oh my gosh, I felt amazing. I did come out to New York, I think, interviewing a total of 3 or 4 times for 3 or 4 different jobs. And yes, I was getting nervous and scared because I kept traveling on my own dime. I wanted to move here, so companies are not offering to pay my way to travel for the interview. Anyhow, I just stayed focused on the excitement. Okay, so I'm sure you have had many successes up to this point in your life. So if you want a quick self-esteem boost, way to level up your confidence as you're heading into an interview, or as you're working toward a different, bigger goal right now, whether it's pivoting career directions, starting a new business, or just another bigger goal, bigger challenge that you are working toward. You want to keep your focus on the excitement and your belief in yourself that you can, and that will help you keep moving forward. With any challenge, with any goal, there will always be a challenge. Otherwise, it would not be a goal. So all you have to do is keep your mindset elevated, believe that you can achieve, and then you got to take action, and then you have to keep going. When the going gets tough, you can further instill your belief in yourself by thinking back to a past success, a successful outcome, a goal that you achieved, and how you got there. What actions did you take? You believed that you could achieve, and then you kept your focus on the positive. And of course, the fear can creep in, the negative thoughts can creep in. That's okay. Just observe them and choose to keep your focus on the positive. And then you can think back to an outcome that was not desired. So most people would call this a failure. I don't call it a failure unless you decided not to take action. If fear keeps you from taking one step, that's failing. But if you take a step and maybe you get a ways down in that direction, then you realize this is actually not for me. This is not what I wanted. Or you get further down and then something else comes onto your path and you say, oh my gosh, this is a new direction. This is it. You wouldn't have gotten that. You wouldn't have seen that new opportunity had you not started on your path. So, if you try at something and you don't achieve the desired outcome, it doesn't work out the way that you wanted, well, you have more knowledge, you are better equipped, and now you're likely going to come across a new path that actually is meant for you that you probably otherwise would have missed if you didn't get started. So an undesired outcome in my mind is not a failure, because you're learning, it's equipping you along your path so that you have more to offer once you get where it is you're going. But anyhow, for the purpose of this exercise, you want to do the same thing with something that did not work out in the past. And you don't want to beat yourself up about this, about actions that you made in the past that were not ideal and then resulted in a less than ideal outcome. It's just an exercise to empower you. When we take responsibility for ourselves and our actions, we empower ourselves, because if we don't like our situation, you have the power to change that. But without becoming aware and looking back at some things that didn't work out and our part in them, why they worked out that way or didn't work out that way, well, then you get to know yourself better. With greater self-awareness, you can achieve more with less effort. Another topic. So think of a past situation that did not work out the way you wanted. What was the situation? What was your emotion? What was your dominant thought and mindset around that goal? And then what was your action or inaction as a result of your emotions? And then what was the result of your actions or inaction? And then how did you feel? So exercise again, in case I got a bit too convoluted there with my examples, it's situation, emotion around it, action, result, and then final emotion, both for a success and something that did not work out the way that you wanted. And so when you do that exercise, you'll see I succeed at what I focus on, and I have the power to choose my focus. So pretty cool. And also, sometimes if you're like me, I struggle with this sometimes, and so I have to rein myself in a little bit. But I have so many different projects and ideas and goals and things that I'm working on, and I can get really excited about each of them. And I had the same challenge back before. It's actually one of the things that kept me from getting my career started for so long. I was focusing in too many different directions. So I'm a very creative person. I like to express. So I was writing and I was taking a writing class. I was acting and I was taking acting classes. I was waiting tables to pay my bills, and I was going on job interviews. So this is a very my focus spread in 20% or 25% of my energy in 4 different directions. So did I go very far? Did I have success? No. So if you notice that that's happening, how you can rein it in is just become aware and do a little bit of deeper thinking so that you can identify your number one priority. And then maybe it's time to create some space by taking your focus away from some of the other things that are not your priority. I still came back to writing later, but I decided my number one priority was getting my career started. And so I stopped the writing class, I stopped the acting classes, and was just, focused on my career. So when we're putting 80% of our efforts in one direction, then that's where our focus is. We're definitely going to go much further than a little bit here, and here. So I have to watch that, for myself too, because I get so excited about all these different things. But wait a minute, am I actually succeeding? So you pick the number one priority and put, all or most of your focus there. If you are working your current job, of course, that's how you're paying your bills, and you want to be doing something else. Well, maybe you just focus on those 2 things, and see you're going to get further along in the other path that you're looking to go down. So narrowing your focus can be super beneficial too. But yes, you succeed at what you focus on, and how we do anything is how we do everything. So you can take and apply this concept to the little things in your life that don't seem like they matter that much, to the big things. So I gave you an example of a big thing, moving to New York. A little thing would be, so I work out a lot at my yoga studio. The classes sell out, so sometimes there's a wait list. And one time, as far as I recall, in the last, I think, I don't know, 13 years that I've been going there, only one time did I not get in when I was on the wait list. But let's say if I sign up for the wait list and I don't think I'm going to make it, that focus that it's probably not going to work out, I'm probably not going to show up to the studio to see if I can get into class. But I always show up, and every time I get in, because my mindset is, yeah, it's likely going to work out. So that directly correlates to my action of showing up and being positive. Yes, I'm going to get in the class. And then I always get in the class. Just one time I didn't in 12 or so years. So that's pretty good. And that's a little tiny light example that does not matter that much if I get into class that day or not. But our attitude in one thing is likely going to be our attitude in the next thing. So if there's an area in your life right now, something that's not working out the way you want, where is your focus? Okay, you succeed at what you focus on, good or bad. So let's make it good. And just that awareness around that fact, and hopefully you'll do the exercise and prove that, to yourself that you succeed at what you focus on, is self-empowerment. When we learn to give ourselves what we need, that is true empowerment. I see what's going on here with the screen now. Yeah, it's not broadcasting on one of my networks there. So, okay. So next time I won't make that mistake. So, okay, cool. Well, that is it for today. Just going to see if I have any comments real quick. Nope. But okay. Have a great day, guys. And yeah, remember, true empowerment is self-empowerment. So everything that you need, you have the ability within yourself to give to yourself. And you can start here by reminding yourself that you succeed at what you focus on. Have a great day. I'll see you next week.